All right, welcome everybody. This is the 2020-2021 season start presentation for our ski patrol. Really what we're trying to cover here tonight is the announcements that we normally would have done during our refresher, and then also cover our awards ceremony that we normally would have done during our refresher. Because we do have a lot of awards that occurred in this past year, even though it was very odd and unique circumstances. We did get a number of patrollers that have been awarded. And of course, we always want to know who's the Ski Patroller of the Year and Rookie of the Year, which we'll be discussing. So there's been some amazing accomplishments over this past year that I want to make sure that we're able to share with each other and congratulate the patrollers that received awards this year. And also, talk about the upcoming season because it's going to be very different. I can tell you when I signed up to be ski patrol director, I'm pretty sure nowhere in the job description said anything about handling a volunteer ski patrol in the middle of a pandemic. So I probably have a little bit more gray hair this year because of it. It's quite the experience. We've all been, I know there's a number of us that have worked right on the front lines through this whole pandemic, both in the first responder role and then in the clinical health role. And so I can tell you there are we have some amazing resources on this patrol that have been working in this unique environment since March when it happened. So I think we're fortunate to have the wealth of experience on this patrol going forward as we come into the winter season. And really, I think, tap into each other and rely on each other through those, if you have questions or you're unsure about something. So for the 2020-2021 season, it looks like we're going to have an El Nino here. So we're looking like we're going to have some pretty good snow. So I'm excited. And I think if we keep positive on the thing that we love best, which is skiing and ski patrolling and Afton Alps, I think we're going to have an absolutely fantastic year. I think we're going to be able to work through all the challenges that come with COVID because I truly, honestly believe in the professionalism and the awesome people that we have on this ski patrol. And I'm looking forward to this season, even in light of everything that's going on. So as we get into the season, safety is the number one priority. And I can reassure you through the numerous meetings that I've had in this off season for us, that safety is the number one priority. We are going to make sure that every single member of the ski patrol, first and foremost, is safe. And then two, we're going to make sure that we can still take care of our guests and at Afton Alps. And provide the expert level care that we always have provided. So safety is number one priority that I've had a number of meetings both at the Western region level, division level of the National Ski Patrol, and then ongoing meetings with Vail. Vail's got some pretty comprehensive playbooks that they're coming out with as far as just kind of stepping through the guidance as far as how we're going to work through this season. And then on top of that, we have a work group that we put together very early on to kind of look at how are we going to run as a ski patrol in this COVID environment. How can we be as safe as possible? How can we take care of each other? Make sure that we all stay happy, healthy, and safe, and we can ski the entire season and take care of our guests. And so Ken Liddell, Doug and Rob and Jonathan Hall have been a part of that working group. And so they've been tapping into a lot of the resources and the information that comes through from the National Ski Patrol side as far as setting up for training when we're talking about our candidate class and our on the hill class. And then they're also looking at it from kind of what our operations are going to look like. We still are waiting on guidance and resources from Vail as far as operating on the Vail Resorts property at Afton Alps. And I can tell you that it's comprehensive and it's going to be nothing but the most thought out plan that you could ever imagine. And so as that stuff starts coming to me, I'm going to start sharing that to the group and letting you know what some of the expectations or what are kind of the safety components we're going to have as we work through the season. And Chris is here, our general manager, Chris Blackwell, and he's going to be able to kind of share just a little bit of what's coming and what he can kind of see from his perspective as we come up on the season. So he'll talk here in just a little bit. The other thing is Ken Liddell. If you ever have any questions or concerns, he is the guy to go to. If anybody's not aware, he is now the Western Region Risk Management Advisor for the Western Region. And so he is tapped into to the Western Region, the division, and the national, along with NSAA group, as far as knowing what the plan is. And so if you have any concerns or you're unsure about what's going on for this season, or you're unsure about the COVID plan or what's being talked about or what's happening, reach out to Ken. He's a phenomenal resource, and we're fortunate to have him on our patrol, not only as a region, but also as one of our assistant patrol directors. So he's a phenomenal resource. If you ever have any concerns, he is the guy to reach out to when it comes to specifically COVID related stuff. With one of the programs that we did have to put on hold, which was very unfortunate, really disappointing, but it's a unique year. So there's gonna be some sacrifices, but we did have to put our young adult patroller program, the YAP program, on hold for this season. And that was direction given down for the entire Vail resorts. So all of the resorts in the entire company the YAP programs are shut down for this season. For a number of reasons, but one of the main reasons was just consistency as far as the programming, making sure that's everything consistent. Vail really values the YAP program. If you're not aware, Vail Mountain has an absolutely massive young adult patroller program, and it's amazing what they do. I mean, the young adults are actually going on the hill doing avalanche runs with the patrollers. I mean, it's pretty spectacular. So for this season, with the uniqueness that it's posing, we had to put the program on hold for this season. Tracy did an absolutely amazing job putting together the program, and I know it's going to be nothing but a phenomenal success as we move through into next year when we can run the program. We have some amazing young adult patrollers that are already on board. Thankfully, we have a phenomenal partnership with Jeff Olson up at Wild, and they're going to be skiing with Wild Mountain this year, but they will be coming back next year. And I'm truly looking forward to what this program can develop and really bringing these young adults on and really sharing our passion with them. So it's going to be pretty amazing. So thank you, Tracy and Jamie and your whole crew for everything that you've done to set it up. We're just gonna have to put a little pause just with COVID, but it's gonna be amazing when we get to it. So we have worked out for this season, which will help with kind of our COVID plan and keeping people, working through the patrol room and trying to minimize the amount of contact or minimize the amount of congregating it for guests and patients in the patrol room. We actually this year have a satellite patrol station / patrol room, and that's going to be the yurt in the LZ. So management has agreed to allow us to use the yurt as kind of a satellite patrol room for us for this year, which I think is going to be a phenomenal resource for us. So Rob and Doug are working on getting equipment, a bed, so that we can treat and care for patients in that yurt, which is going to be awesome. It's also going to be a spot where you can, go have your lunch or go warm up in, but that's going to be a exclusive for us to manage our operations. So to have another spot on the hill to do that's going to be awesome. So looking forward to that. If you have any ideas or anything like that, share that with Rob and Doug. Like I said, they're working on kind of getting that set up and make sure we have all the equipment we need for the yurt. So it's gonna be pretty cool. I will continue this year more than ever. It's going to those weekly updates, in my opinion, are going to be incredibly important because just like we've all experienced, things are changing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis as far as everything in this world right now. And so I will continue with those weekly updates. Every Friday, I'll be sending out those weekly updates. And the reason why it's Friday is because the leadership team with Afton gets together earlier in the week, and so they kind of compile their information or the updates for the particular week, and then I'm getting those updates to you guys so that we're keeping that constant stream of communication between Afton Alps and the ski patrol. So one of the things that I did note from the survey that I sent out is that, you know, obviously there's a ton of information that I've been sending out in there, and there's tons of very important information that gets sent out in there. And so what my goal is that I want to take some of the really important messages that come out in my weekly updates. I'm going to get that into a Google Documents, and there'll be a link on the patrol room computer. You can save the link on your desktop or on your phone, and you'll be able to look at those updates, the important updates throughout the season, so you don't have to go fish through your email to try to find a particular update from a previous week. Like, I know there was a change, or they wanted us doing something different here. What is that? Well, we'll make sure those important announcements are on a document that you can see easily, and you don't have to fish through your email through each one of those weekly updates every week. So that's something that I'm trying to do to improve that. If you think of something that might be a better idea, or you think of something that might be more beneficial, please let me know. I'm always open to ideas. Like I said, the communication with me is so important. I want to be able to communicate with you guys as much as I possibly can, keep you guys in the loop. I want to keep us with the rest of the Afton Alps employees, staff, and management. I want us to be one team, and that's why that communication is so important for me, and why I'm do whatever I can to make sure that we're getting all the information I can to you guys throughout the season. And this year is going to be even more important. So now everybody that's patrolling this year has completed their refresher, which is fantastic. It was a little unique and different. It was really odd to do the refresher and not actually be in person with anybody and practice any of the skills. Unfortunately, because we weren't able to do that in-person refresher, which, as you all know, we try to cram as much as we can into that refresher to minimize the repeat visits out to Afton throughout the season, because that is something that everybody always is like, the multiple visits to keep doing training or different type of refresher type activities becomes a lot. I can tell you for this season, because of the circumstances, it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge because we still have those refresher activities that we would normally have done in our in-person refresher in October that we're going to have to do now throughout the season or early on in the season. So I'm really asking for a lot of flexibility, cooperation, and help, and understanding that you know, we still need to complete those refresher activities. And I know it's going to be a challenge this year just because of the fact that everything's broken apart and we can't do it all in one day. So we're working on plans. And some of those refresher activities that we're going to have to complete is the on the hill refresher. So the recalibration with Tom Slavic and Joe and Tim and Jill, as far as doing our required on the hill refresher for the toboggan handling and skiing. We're going to have to do the chair evacuation refresher. There are some changes to the chair evacuation as far as some of the new standards on how we do chair evacuations for the entire industry. So this is industry wide, that there's some changes. So Steve will be coming out and sharing that and kind of assigning what those blocks are going to look like for the training for the chair evac, where we'll have to come out to the hill and train that. We're gonna have to do the vehicle testing. We're still working on finalizing some of what that's going to look like for getting signed off to drive both the patrol on the road vehicles and then also the gators. So we'll work through that. There'll be more information come on the vehicle testing for the season. Hill captain training. Hill captain training will be in a Zoom meeting format, which I know a lot of you have been asking, a lot of the hill captains have been asking for, because a lot of times it's been a challenge to get out there to do the refresher training. In order to be a hill captain, we require people to run through the refresher training each year. So this year we're going to have the hill captain training on Sunday, October 25th at 7 p.m. in a Zoom meeting, and then Tuesday, October 27th at 7 p.m. in a Zoom meeting. If you're interested in being a hill captain, you can attend either one of these meetings, and I'll send out more information after today on those meetings and as far as the Zoom invite and everything like that. So I'll send out more information here probably tomorrow or the next day regarding that. But if you wanted to be a hill captain, you have to have at least a year patrolling. I can tell you right now, the hill captains, you guys are going to be incredibly important this year because you are leading the shift and making sure that we're staying safe and sanitized and clean and really leading the charge as far as the safety first in this COVID environment. So more to come. The Hill Captains will get a lot more information regarding that, and also obviously opportunity for them to ask questions and kind of what to expect for this upcoming season. But truly, if you're not a Hill Captain, please thank your Hill Captains, because these guys run these shifts like well-oiled machines, and we truly could not do our operations that we do on a daily basis with the size and scope that we have of ski patrollers and the amount of guests that we have without the amazing commitment by the Hill Captains. And if you want to be one, I encourage you to, and we have some awesome mentors and some great Hill Captains that would be happy to mentor and train you and teach you how their tricks of the trade. So thank you to all the Hill Captains that for everything you do. And this, like I said, this season is going to be even more of an important season for the Hill Captains. So with that, that's all I have for right now. So next on my agenda is Afton Alps management, and Chris Blackwell's in the meeting, and so I'd like him to just kind of cover some of the things that have transpired, or how we're kind of working up to the season, and kind of his perspective from management as we come up to the 2020-2021 season. So go for it, Chris.
Thanks, Jake. Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to share my screen here. Oh, Jake, can you allow me to share my screen? It says host disabled. You're on mute.
So is it just not allowing you to telling you I have to give you permissions?
It says host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Jeez.
Not a huge deal at the beginning.
Okay. Let me see if I can try to figure out if you want to start, and I'll let me see if I can get this squared away. But
you bet.
So Jake,
All right, well, good evening, everybody. Before I give a brief overview of what the experience will be like at Afton this winter, I wanted to take a step back and thank you for last year. I've worked in the ski industry for 20 years now, and every year, minus this year, we do a great job of celebrating the year in the past, right? Whether it's an employee ski day, volunteer ski day, whether it's a barbecue, saying goodbye to friends of the winter season, whatever it may be. And obviously this year was a very, very unique ending. And so I wanted to take the opportunity to thank you. We had just a fantastic year. It was just a very decent snow year. We had cold temps, snow stuck around. We had a lot of people come out and have a great time, and that wouldn't have happened without you and your team. So thank you very, very much for everything you guys do. As I heard a couple of you guys talking about as we got things kicked off tonight, it was pretty exciting to see some snowflakes this past week and some cold temps and really getting colder and colder as the day goes on, hoping to fire up snowbanking for surely by November 1st, November 2nd-ish, but it's even looking like we might have the opportunity to kick things off a little bit early, maybe even as early as this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we'll see what the weather does there.
Chris, you should be able to share your screen now. I made you a host. So
awesome. Thank you. Give me 1 second here.
And thank you to everybody putting in the comments there, telling me how to do it. So awesome.
There it is. All right. You guys see that all right? I'll assume that's a yes. All right. So snowmaking, exciting, cold temps. You know, the teams have been hard at work. It's been a unique summer in terms of maintenance. We had a lot of our employees on furlough for a while. But we brought back the teams to do the necessary items, obviously to take care of our lifts and our buildings, and so on and so forth. Didn't get as much done as we had hoped that we typically would capital project wise, but we are absolutely ready to go, you know, going into the season. And we're even able to do a couple of cool projects throughout the resort as well. So that's exciting. As Jake already said, yeah, we are always a safety focused, you know, group or company, as you guys are used to, but there's no question that this year will play on that even more. You know, the motto is be safe together. And so I'm going to go through ultimately what that experience will look like in the very basics. If you've been following along with ski industry news or on our website or anything like that, a lot of this won't be new or exciting, but just a brief overview. And if I have time afterwards, I'm happy to take some questions. So commitment to safety, our 4 pillars with the commitment to safety start with pass holder reservations. And so we're asking all people who visit the property this year to have a reservation, and that will help us ensure that we're able to control the amount of people on property. As you guys know, we have some absolutely busy days. We have some large groups, et cetera, and I'll talk a little bit about groups here in a second. But having pass holder reservations is really going to allow us to manage that, ensure that we have the right amount of people on property for the experience that we want to deliver. Face coverings, as everybody knows, that is a Minnesota state piece, but also an Afton piece, and we won't be allowing anybody on property who is not donning a face covering. You know, our guests are going to have face coverings in most places, being lift lines, obviously restaurants, ticket offices, items like that. Our employees will be wearing face coverings truly all the time. So physical distancing, I'll get into it a little bit more, but obviously our restaurants will be set up for physical distancing. All of our lines and queues will be set up for physical distancing. Our lift lines will be set up for physical distancing. You name it, that's a huge part of our puzzle. Excuse me. And last but not least, cashless transactions. We won't be accepting any cash at Afton this winter. And you know, we don't do a ton of cash business at Afton, but there are some new opportunities and new challenges, I guess, with that process. But being that everybody needs to have a reservation, everybody's tickets in ski school would be purchased before they get there. A little bit different when you get to food and beverage and rental and items like that, but should be a good step forward. Chairlifts. So what will it look like on the chairlifts? So face coverings will be required to access the mountain, including the lift lines, and while unloading and riding on the chairlifts. To maintain physical distancing on our chairlifts, we will be only seating, we'll only be seating, there we go. Only be seeing related parties. So guests who are coming together can sit on the chairlift together. So if you don't come with a party, there's only one chairlift that you can ride with somebody else, right? So we have one 4-person chairlift, and you could put 2 singles on the far opposite side of that chairlift. Otherwise, as you guys very well know, the rest of our chairlifts are 2 and 3 and the tow rope. And we're asking people who aren't in the same party to not sit on the same chair together in that situation. Ski and ride school. So as I talked about a little bit before, to take a ski and ride school lesson, you're going to have to book that in advance. You won't be able to show up the day of and have a lesson. We will be offering, I would say, the core of our ski and ride school offerings, right? And so our private lessons, some group lessons, and the ARC program and a couple other programs. There's definitely a lot of programs that we said, hey, this isn't the right year for it. I think one of the biggest changes is those who are 3 through 6 who definitely need a little bit more support when they're in the lesson. We'll need to be doing that private lesson. We won't be able to do group lessons or even our junior ARC program that we've done in the past this year. So as I said, lessons must be purchased in advance. I think the nice part about lessons is that they will include a mountain reservation or that lift ticket reservation, right? So if you purchase a lesson, you're guaranteed to get on the mountain, and that's good. For our ski and ride school participants, they'll be required to take a pre-eval health screening on the day of their lesson, and obviously they'll be required to be wearing a face mask as well. I think the big one that I skipped over on here is we will not have a class size larger than 6, right? So 6 kids or adults, 1 instructor will be the largest class size we have going out this winter. Mountain dining, I think this and rentals is obviously the area where we expect to see the most change. We will be operating all restaurants except for the Crest this winter, and that's a huge bummer, as obviously the Crest is a lot of everybody's favorites. However, that space is so small and can be so busy that it just wasn't the right thing for us this winter. We are working really, really hard not to congregate, right? Or create situations where people are going to congregate. So I'll talk about this a little bit more, but anything bar or hanging out, like we'll be working hard not to have those things happen this year. So we'll be managing capacity into the restaurants, just like the state of Minnesota. Currently we're at 50% capacity, and we'll be spacing out our seating indoors and outdoors, I guess, for that matter, to ensure that people can physical distance within the restaurant. Face coverings will be required except when eating and drinking. At our quick serve restaurants, we'll have really, really basic options. And I think we probably picked our 3 or 4 menu items that are the most popular, and we'll stick with those. Our goal is to be able to provide very quick service, right? So we're not creating these long queues and having people bunch up in them. And so what you will be able to purchase food-wise will be incredibly streamlined at Afton this year. We will be selling packaged beer and wine, but we won't be having any bar service. We won't be pouring mixed drinks. We won't be having kegs. You will be able to purchase wine or beer with your meal. However, there won't be that hanging out drinking environment like we've seen in certain areas in the past. And again, all transactions will be cashless for mountain dining. And I think the last thing to say on that is I'm really, really proud. So Chelsea Miller-Zoller is our food and beverage director, and she has worked incredibly hard on a lot of these teams this winter who have set up these plans. As you know, we have a lot of different restaurants across the company and a lot of different setups. And this is a huge pinch point for us. And when you come in and you experience that on your first day patrolling or your first day visiting, you will know that a lot of thought and effort has been put into that, into the way that we take reservations when you come in the way that we ensure that you have a clear path to the restroom or a clear path to get food and sit down and have a space where you can feel healthy and safe there. Equipment rentals, another super challenging area for us. If you think about the process of renting equipment and trying on boots and all that stuff, this is another area where we've had a lot of challenges and have put together some really good plans, but it will not be easy for these teams. So in general, we will have all of our rental locations open this year, and I think you'll even see the Alpine location open more than it has been in the past, just simply because we'll need some more capacity to keep up with the new precautions and procedures. As we did in the restaurants, we'll manage the number of people who go into the rental locations and make sure there's physical distancing there. We'll be asking people to wear face coverings, and we'll be taking a lot of precautions for our employees to ensure that they are not put at risk in that situation as well. And then we'll be fully sanitizing all of our equipment between each guest use, right? So every piece of equipment, every boot, every helmet, every skis, snowboard, etc., will be sanitized in between use, or even between trying on when somebody tries on a pair of boots and unfortunately it doesn't fit, so they try something else on. And then just a couple of more enhanced safety protocols. So employees will undergo daily health screenings and receive appropriate training based on company procedures. So we will be giving every single one of our employees across our entire company a thermometer that they're going to take home. And they will go on a health screening at their house and log it on a app before they even leave to come to work. That will register with us at work, and we'll be checking that to ensure they completed that prior to showing up on property. As I stated earlier, we'll be expecting that all employees wear face coverings, regularly washing their hands and staying home if they're sick. Obviously, staying home if you're sick is the big one and the most important one. We have a very, very strict policy on face coverings as well. Basically, unless you are in an office by yourself with nobody else there and the door closed, you will need to have a face covering on at Afton. As any other place, we'll be sanitizing and disinfecting and cleaning high-touch surfaces. All buildings and locations will have a cleaning schedule and checkoffs and all those items. Forgot to take out the gondola cabins because Afton does not have that. Sorry. And then you'll see obviously hand sanitizing stations throughout the resort. We worked really, really hard as a company to set up a good PPE and PPG supply chain. We feel really confident going into this season that regardless of how busy we are and how many employees we are, we will have the tools necessary to support you and our employees as well with those items. So that's really good. So additional changes, Jake already touched on it, but I'm really excited about the fact that you guys will have some support out of the yurt this year. I think obviously the yurt area, we see a lot of incidents there. So having somebody there in close proximity is great. But as I'll be sharing with Jake and the leadership team over the coming week is we have a lot of policies and procedures around locker rooms and employee spaces or volunteer spaces in your case. And so being able to spread you guys out a little bit more will be critical in that situation. Reduced group and event offerings. We will have very, very, very few events throughout the entire season. All the fun ones, unfortunately, that you guys are used to won't be taking place at Afton this year. I'm going to try to host a couple of ski races for the high schools, for Team Afton, etc. But again, incredibly reduced capacity, very different situation in the past, but ultimately trying to keep those programs going there. Groups, right? The gigantic groups that you guys are used to seeing on Friday nights, Saturdays, Sundays, unfortunately won't be taking place this year. We will still have some group business, but it'll be incredibly limited compared to what you're used to. Also wanted to share that our operating hours have changed from last year. I believe last year we were at 9:30 to 9:30. We saw some opportunities where Afton was just historically quiet week after week after week. And so found the opportunity to reduce our operating hours in a couple of situations. So 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 9 on Saturday on our peak days, and then Sunday 9:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. So what's next? As Jake mentioned, we have been working hard as a company to create what we call playbooks. Right now I have 54 playbooks that I am reading through in every area of our business. Probably 3 or 4 or 5 of those pertain to the Afton Ski Patrol team. And so obviously we have a very specific NSP Ski Patrol booklet that I'll be sharing with Jake and his leadership team here tomorrow evening. But also things like employee spaces. How do we interact with guests when we have guests who are frustrated about their masks or who are injured, whatever it may be. So all of those playbooks sharing with the patrol leadership team. And ultimately I wanted to share it with that team and let them decipher, hey, these are the rules of engagement this winter. This is how we are going to perform our duties. And then they'll be sharing that information out with you guys. Myself and Nathan are hard at work at setting up and outfitting the patrol spaces. So all the PPE, PPG you guys will need to do your jobs, but also plexiglass and separation and moving stuff down to the yurt, whatever it may be there. making sure you guys have what you need to operate safely. Supply procurement, as I've talked about, we have a really good supply chain set up for all of the things that I think we'll need this winter. Jake already mentioned lift-to-back training. It will definitely look different. Actually, I just started to read about what that process might look like this year. It'll look different, but it is still important to go through that procedure and ensure our communication is on point and we know exactly what we're going to do if that were to happen. And obviously, we got to set you guys up with uniforms, get your passes, and all that good stuff. So we'll be creating those plans over the next couple of weeks as well. Probably sooner than that because we're close to opening. And that's about it. I just wanted to say thanks for your patience. I know this feels, everybody's been eagerly awaiting what it looks like at Afton and all the fine details. And obviously, we know some stuff and we're still figuring some stuff out. But I'm excited. I'm very proud of the stance we've taken and how important your health and safety, our guests' health and safety, and our employees' health and safety will be this winter. That is all I have. I'm happy to take questions. Jake, if you have time. If not, I'm happy to share my email address and answer any questions via email if that's better.
Let's do, there were some questions that came in through the chat while you were talking, and I think some of those questions probably could be answered. Again, like Chris said, things are evolving on like a daily basis, and we're getting more information as we go, and we have another meeting tomorrow. I was hoping to have everything prepared for this so we could share everything that we have, but we just don't, just because things are ever changing. So I think a lot of the questions that you guys asked in the comments, I will be able to get answered for you after subsequent meetings here this week, and make sure those questions are taken care of. In the essence of time, I think probably if you have specific questions for Chris, just have them email you directly, Chris, if they have a concern, or they can talk to me too. Chris and I have been having meetings on a regular basis throughout the summer, ever since the season ended. So we're both on the same page. We talk quite a bit. So if you have any questions, we can let us know. But like I said, the questions that were asked, I think we can get those questions answered here later this week, or in our follow-up to this meeting. So thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
You bet. I'll throw my email in the chat, so feel free to reach out with me on any questions. It sounds like we are opening up the Crest to a patrol room with the bar already installed, so that's great news as well. I appreciate you guys letting me take some time tonight. I appreciate you guys being on here and learning more about this winter. We're excited to have you guys back, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Next, let's move to local medical update from our medical director, Bjorn. He can kind of give us a general idea of what's happening here in Minnesota from his professional opinion and kind of what his thoughts are as we move into the season. So Bjorn, take it away.
Sure. Thanks, Jake. Well, this has been a weird year, obviously, understatement. And early on, things were changing daily from the frontline medical side of things. Over the summer, we kind of stabilized, things settled down. And now just in the last week, it's starting to ramp back up quite a bit again. So I think the next, the next couple of weeks here in Minnesota are going to probably determine some of the path that this season takes, and at least the first part of it. I don't want to talk too long. I just want to emphasize, that the National Ski Patrol has been doing a lot of work on this. I know Vail has been doing their work on it too. I've been involved with some of the conversations at the central and western region, just looking at some of the plans that they've put out. And I think it's very thoughtful. There is a component of this that I think we all just need to understand, that is public perception, that there may not be a lot of evidence to support some of the things that are being done, but there's definitely no harm in doing them. And if it's going to protect us, great. And if it appears to the public that we're taking good precautions, that's important as well. So just to encourage you guys to continue wearing masks, social distancing, and that's going to be one of the hardest things, I think, just in the patrol room. We can't just have people congregating and eating, together, and there's going to be a lot of changes that are coming up. Let's see, as far as what's expected, I think, talk about N95 masks versus face masks. I'm not going to go into detail on that because that's going to be pretty clear coming out shortly. But it's going to be an interesting year, and so I'm here. Any questions you guys would have, feel free to reach out to me. I'll try to do the weekly updates as well, just from a medical side. I think that's even more important this year, just to keep you in the loop as far as what's happening with COVID. And I'll just leave or end with this, that this is a real virus, that there are real consequences to this, but on the same hand, I also don't want people to fear the coming season. I think, in healthcare, we have not, at least in the system that I work for, had any patient to staff transmission of COVID. It has all been community exposure where staff have been infected. And I think that's fairly similar across the other healthcare systems as well. So skiing being an outdoor activity, people are generally bundled up. There's a lot of face coverings happening. This activity in general is low risk in the big picture, but obviously the work that you all do, interacting with patients a little bit more closely, is part of that higher risk thing. And then, like Chris mentioned, the lift lines, the restaurants, the food areas, the patrol room. Those are the areas that we just need to keep an eye on. I see someone's asking about wearing a mask while wearing a helmet. And I think some of these things are going to be trial and error, figure it out as we go. I don't have a definitive answer for that, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure out how that works. So I don't know, Jake, do you have any specific questions or points you want me to cover? Otherwise, I think I'll just keep it brief.
Nope, that sounds good. I think, I want to keep Bjorn. Bjorn is also the assistant medical director for the Western region. So he's been very involved throughout the NSP system. So he's been an awesome resource to not just our patrol, but also patrols throughout the Western region. So thank you, Bjorn, for that. And I think what it'll be important for us moving forward is Bjorn just kind of keeping us updated from the EMS field, because obviously they're our direct partners. And so they've been working in it here for months and months and months. And so he's definitely a resource. So if you have questions, reach out to him. He's always happy to answer the questions. So I think you covered it, Bjorn. So thank you. So moving on, for our operations for this upcoming season, I know I've already been getting questions as far as what are the shift requirements going to look like for the season. So Sean McClay is at work and Marty Lear is out riding a motorcycle, so they're not able to talk about the shift requirements. So I will go over those with everyone. The shift requirements, it's going to be, obviously we had challenges last year. This year is a whole nother set of challenges. And so the most important thing is that we have to have consistent coverage throughout the year, and that's important. And we're down 15 patrollers from last year. And majority of those people are actually due to work relocations or just resigning due to life changes. We have about a handful of patrollers that have gone inactive for this season due to personal reasons, but for the most part, everybody's still here, which I appreciate thoroughly. But we're at about 130 patrollers for this upcoming season. So that really bases on what the requirement is so that we can make sure that we're filling our schedule out. So for this season, the required shifts will be 14 required shifts for the season. The thing that's going to be a little different is that we are subject right now to the reservation system. So we have to have a reservation before we come out and ski. So if you're going to come out and free ski, or you're coming out to ski unassigned, you would have to get a reservation, set up your reservation before you come out. If you don't, what'll end up happening right now is your pass will be hot listed. So there's going to be some exceptions to that. And one of the exceptions is our schedule will be uploaded. People that put your name on the schedule will be uploaded into the reservation automatically through the office staff. So if your name is on the schedule, you will be put into the reservation system. So that is important for a number of reasons, both for knowing who's at Afton on any given day from ski patrol staff because we'll have the schedule system, but also making sure we get your reservation requirement covered. And so what we're going to be doing for this season is that the schedule will open on Sunday, November 1st at 7 p.m. we are asking everybody needs to sign up for their 14 shifts before Sunday, November 14th at 7 p.m. So we're asking everybody to sign up for their required 14 shifts within a period of time, and then there's going to be a deadline to make sure that everybody signed up, because we have to make sure that we know who's going to be on at a particular day due to the reservation system, and it will also make it easier for people so you don't have to go through that reservation process. And also for COVID and contact tracking, if we were to have any issues, we at least know who our staff are, because everybody who's on the schedule is at Afton, unless obviously you do your own reservation. So obviously there's going to be exceptions. I know we all have different work schedules and situations, and so we'll be open to making exceptions for people depending on, you know, if your schedule is not out that far or whatever the reasons may be. We'll make some exceptions and work with you, and that will be done through Sean or myself, as far as let us know directly if you need to make an exception. But so for this year, 14 shift requirement. The schedule will open on Sunday, November 1st, and will close on Sunday, November 14th, or we're asking everybody to be signed up for their 14 shifts by Sunday, November 14th for the upcoming season. The same reductions from last year, as far as depending on if you take an additional assignment within the ski patrol, and the reductions that are listed out in the policy manual still apply for this season. We're also looking for if there's any patrollers that are willing to volunteer to be a part of what we want to call the race team for this season. And if you sign up to be a part of the race team, that would be you know, your sole assignment as far as fulfilling your requirements, is that you would basically be race team patrollers and help work through to make sure that we have our races covered and the early opens. I can tell you it's probably going to be a very limited, a lot different than it was in previous years. So there's not going to be nearly as many races that we're going to be looking for coverage for. But we're looking for some patrollers that will be able to help with that. So there's still some, well, first, if you're interested in being a part of the race team, let myself or Sean know, and we can put you on the list. There still are some unknowns with how the reservation system is going to exactly work, and that's still for me to work through with Chris and the Vail system, as far as what that reservation system is going to look like and how that's going to actually work. So I see the question is, how often will the schedule reservation system be updated? I don't know right now. We're still trying to work out that system and how that's going to work. So for right now, this is what the plan is. And if there's any changes, we'll make sure to let you know. But I think the most important thing to know is that 14 shift requirement for this season. And then we're asking everybody to be signed up for their 14 shifts before November 14th. And obviously, if you have any special exceptions, we can work with you through that. That's all I have on that. There'll be more information. We have a whole memo drafted and put together for that. So there's a number of things that from today that I will be sharing in a subsequent email. And so I will share those tomorrow or the following day or subsequent days here, as far as the memo, and that's outlining the shift requirements, and then also the link to this video. So other than that, let's Ken, if you want to just share a little bit about what you, Rob, and Doug have been working on. Obviously, we don't know all the details for this season yet, but just kind of what that you guys have been working pretty extensively as far as coming up with a plan.
Yeah, I'm going to be brief. Rob and Doug and Jonathan James, myself, we've been basically putting together thoughts and ideas as far as how we can make the patrol room and the exchange of patroller hill captains and that a little safer. A lot of the information has been directly sent in to Jake, and Jake has been sharing it with Chris, and kind of coming through with some ideas for that. It's going to be a little bit different. We're going to try to limit the amount of patrollers that are in the patrol room, and also we're we're going to be working with the, as the patrollers come in. There's been some suggestions as far as coming in fully clothed with your ski patrol stuff on. And that's a little bit unrealistic because a lot of patrollers are coming in from work. So we're trying to make the best use of our area. Obviously, there's going to be limits on how many guests we're going to be able to bring along. Food being used or left out or shared won't be allowed this year. And then just basically patient care. We're going to do more of a lead patient care on this, less congregation into the aid room by patrollers, which may again compromise us from our usual routines. Some of the OTH stuff will have to be done and probably geared more towards the outside as far as general meetings or pre-meetings prior to that night. And then the hill captains will be more involved, I think, in what's going to be as far as the coming and receiving patrollers and how they're coming in. So there's a lot of questions. We've had about 5-6 different pages of research that we've been doing. We've also made some requests to possibly change the aid room around a little bit for a little bit more distancing. Those things are all on the table right now. We'll know more within the next couple of weeks. As Jake had mentioned, that we've been working with the different organizations. We work with the division. We work with the National Ski Patrol, and we just recently got a joint packet, which is basically a joint statement of understanding. It's been put out, and I'm going to hopefully be able to send that out to everyone at Afton as a patrol. And it's got some great information, not to contradict anything that's been done on the division or the region level, but just things that maybe we will be able to send out with every patroller at Afton is a laminated card, basically, that will allow direction for approaching the patient, as well as questions to ask the patient when you get to them. Again, Bjorn has been great and very instrumental on a lot of this stuff. But I think if we just get used to and routine about going out on our patrol, the masks, and every ski patroller will be getting, and I'll do this because I don't have it on a PowerPoint. We'll be given a mask. It's a moisture wicking 3-ply, and I think you're going to find that it's going to work very well. I haven't tested it with goggles yet, so that that's still out there. But as far as a mask to wear, in answer to one of the questions, I think this will adapt very well with the helmet. But anyway. Just let me know if you've got questions. We've got more stuff coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Rob and Doug, as well as Jonathan James, have been working all very close to this. So if you have questions, get it to me, either through one of those 3 guys, and we will keep approaching everything that we can. Other than that, just know that from the national to the division to the area management, as well as our senior level, we are doing everything we can to make this very safe this year. And question is considered silly. Ask it, and we will try to find the answer to you. Please be patient. We've been working on this since, I think, April. I'm not sure. But, it's been a long time, and we have had some great support behind us. So if you're worried, I can only tell you this much. There's a lot of people right now that are standing right by you and expect our safety out on the hill, and we want to do it. That's all I've got.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. Like Ken said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to him. He's been attuned to a lot of the discussions on multiple different levels. So if you have any questions regarding procedures, that kind of stuff, or what the National Ski Patrol has been doing, Ken is a phenomenal resource. So thank you, Ken. Let's get to the fun stuff. It's time for the awards program. We'll try to run through this quick so that we can, we've had Caddy for an hour. And so hopefully I can get this done here soon, but we want to recognize all the amazing work from the previous season. The one change, we have Liz has been doing an amazing job with our awards program. And we want to make sure that we're recognizing the amazing work that our patrollers do throughout the season. And one of the things that we have worked on for the upcoming season is basically a form that will allow patrollers to submit an amazing experience that a patroller provided, or a situation where a patroller went above and beyond. And this, I'm going to share my, oh, maybe it won't let me. But anyways, what I have created is a document that I will share the link to, but basically it's an online form that any patroller can fill out at any time throughout the season to provide information to recognize a fellow patroller or a situation, or share a situation where people went above and beyond, or with myself and Liz, so that we can make sure that we're recognizing our patrollers when you guys do amazing work, because there is amazing work that goes unnoticed throughout the year, and I only hear about certain things if people share it. And so I want to make sure that we have a forum and an opportunity for people to share that, so that we can recognize you and all your amazing work. This will also help us to provide, hopefully provide information so that we can do more region, division, and national award categories. And then I also created kind of a special recognition that I want to do every single year, where patrollers will receive a certificate of special recognition for going above and beyond. So this is an internal recognition within our group, because there's amazing work that people are doing on a yearly basis, and I want to make sure that we're recognizing that. So we do have some new special recognitions that from this past season, and going forward, my hope is that if you see something that somebody does where they go above and beyond, or you believe they deserve some special recognition for the work that they have done, you can nominate them or share your experience with Liz and I, and we can make sure that those people get recognized for the amazing work. So this is going to be a new online form that any patroller will be able to fill out at any time throughout the season, or any time, and basically talk about the situation that you believe should be recognized. So that's new for the awards program coming up. Like I said, Liz has been doing an amazing job with the awards program, and she's got a lot of certificates printed up that we'll make sure we get to people this year as the season starts. So first things first, we're going to cover some of the years of service awards. So we obviously do that in increments of 5 years, and we have modified how that is done, as you remember from last year. And one of the goals of myself and the senior leadership team is we want to recognize people and their candidate year, because you do so much work that year prior. And we want to make sure that we're including that as part of years of service. So Liz has done a phenomenal job as far as restructuring and organizing and making sure people are getting the correct years of service credits. And so we're going to run through here years of service, starting with 5 years of service. And this class, as we were trying to figure out our system last year, they inadvertently got their 5-year pins last year. But this was the class, the following people would get their 5-year pin. They got it last year, but they would get it this year. So Claire Jubert, Nathan Krennick, Kim Miles, Patrick O'Reilly, Nicole Parr, Dave Ritchie, Orion Simonson, Tyler Thorson, Mike Cheetah, and Joe Williford. So they got their 5-year pin last year, but this year's actually the 5 years for them. So congratulations. 10 years of service. So the class of 2010. So Kathy Chen, Jamie Ingalls, Tracy Ingalls, John Guzum, and Sean Taylor. So great job, you guys. 10 years of service there. We didn't have anybody for 15, 20. We're up to 25. And again, this group, as we were working out our new system and figuring out the spreadsheets from last year, they received their 25 years pins last year. But that was John McGrath, who has retired for this season, collecting his 25-year golden card for the season. So John retired. Congratulations to him for 25 years. But Bob Parr and Ronald Swanson for 25 years. So congratulations, you guys. 30 years of service, class of 1990. Doug Mylar, 30 years of service, so thank you. Awesome job. Doug is a quiet, but I don't think we could do a lot of what we do with Doug, so amazing. Thank you, Doug, for your 30 years of service. Next one is going to be 40 years of service. Jerry Ward spent 40 years here on the patrol. Congratulations. 10 years away here from your 50 years. No 45 years. And then we do have 50 years, but I'm going to save that to the end because they get a special award from the National Ski Patrol. So we'll talk about those two individuals here a little bit later here in the awards. So the next I want to talk about is, let's do the special recognition. So throughout the season last year, situations were shared with me, or I observed as far as where patrollers have gone above and beyond, or I believe people have gone above and beyond. And I want to share some of those situations where people have gone above and beyond, or should get some special recognition for their hard work. And these patrollers will receive a certificate from Liz recognizing them for their hard work above and beyond, or special recognition. And you might remember some of these stories because they were shared in my weekly updates because they were so important. So first special recognition for the last season, 2019 to 2020 season, goes to the On the Hill directors, Joe Williford, Orion, and John Guzum. This special recognition is for outstanding teamwork and committed to the On the Hill program and the toboggan operations. These three individuals have taken their role with On the Hill program far beyond just the candidate training class. The previous season, they dedicated a significant amount of additional time and work with management on the operations, repair, and improvement of our toboggan fleet. They did a phenomenal job identifying areas of improvement and where we can operate better, so that each one of you, when you go to grab a toboggan, you can be rest assured that that toboggan is going to be safe and be safe for you to operate and to and take the patient down safely. So, and they continue to do that. They recently just did went through the toboggan fleet and make sure that we're up to date and ready to go for this season. So I want to recognize those three guys for their above and beyond. They spend so many hours on the hill taking care of our candidates and training them. And then on top of that, taking care of our toboggan fleet. So thank you to you guys for that. So special recognition to them. Next one, special recognition for above and beyond, David Ritchie. On Sunday, February 2nd, an off-duty employee at Afton while boarding fell and hurt his arm to the point he was unable to drive himself home safely. After an extended period of time, the employee was unable to find somebody to give him a ride home. Dave Ritchie and his wife, his wife came out to have dinner at Afton with Dave, offered to drive the employee home and the employee's car home to Minneapolis. And so Dave and his wife got the employee home, and then Dave came back to Afton with only 15 minutes left of his shift to complete his shift. That is some pretty amazing work, pretty impressive. The commitment and the above and beyond, and really taking care of not only your fellow employee and your fellow guests and your fellow patrollers, but also the employees, because we all are all one big team. So thank you, David, and I believe that received some special recognition. So thank you so much. That's awesome. The next one, special recognition for above and beyond, Chris Sachi. Chris, on a Saturday AM morning, very cold, single digits, breezy, as sometimes it can be out at Afton. He came out and basically set up his ice fishing tent up on the top of Hill 2 to help keep the patrollers that were doing the races out at Afton warm with a heater inside. He kept Mike and Bob warm and toasty the entire time. So he did a phenomenal job taking care of looking out for the fellow patrollers. And so we wanted to make sure that he was recognized for that. On that same day, he also recognized that another patroller needed help covering their shift for that particular day. And so he was out there unassigned. And so he grabbed that shift to help take care of that patroller that wasn't able to come out. So awesome job. Again, going above and beyond. Final special recognition from last season is a special recognition for teamwork. Artie Newmister and Bill Dahlquist. Artie and Bill last year not only committed and dedicated a ton of time with the On the Hill team, training our candidates, they truly were ambassadors for teamwork. They picked up a number of shifts on top of the candidate training and throughout the season to help out the fellow patrollers. And when we were limited on staffing, they did a phenomenal job picking up those shifts and coming out on multiple days in a row. I think there were some times where Artie was out there five or 6 days in a row, which is amazing. And I'm thankful for him and Bill for picking up those shifts and taking care of our patrollers and helping us with the schedule and really going above and beyond and being phenomenal members of the team. So thank you, Artie and Bill, for everything that you do. So those are our special recognitions. And those are the kind of things, yes, we congratulate them, clap, thank you. Thank you to them. And these are the kind of things that I want to celebrate and support as we go through the season. And that's why we created these forums. I want you guys to be open to share when you see a patroller or you have a tough incident where patrollers went above and beyond to really take care and do a phenomenal job. Please share that with us because we can't always obviously be there at all times, and we want to know when it's happening, and so we can recognize when patrollers do amazing things and take care of each other and our guests and our fellow employees at Afton. So I'm hoping to get even more of these for next year. So thank you so much to everybody for going above and beyond last year. And I know this is just a snapshot of what the amazing work that is done on a daily basis at Afton. So we had a number of patrollers that received region awards last year or this coming season, and it was a Zoom format for that award ceremony. But I want to go through the patrollers that received region awards at the Western region level. So we had 2 patrollers that received Western Region Outstanding Service Awards. And the first one is Kathy Chen. As you all know, Kathy is organized extraordinaire. She does an amazing job with our OEC program and our candidates, and she never stops working, and she's the most organized person I've ever known. So amazing. So this is her award. So in recognition, Kathy Chen, in recognition for outstanding service to the Afton Alps Ski Patrol as the IOR OAC Director, providing an exceptional level of organization and training proficiency to Afton Alps patrollers and candidates. And I can say that Kathy is known throughout the region for her organization, and there's other ski patrols that are very jealous that they don't have a Kathy Chen on their patrol. So I'm fortunate to say that we have our Kathy Chen here. So congratulations, Kathy. And then she also gets a little plaque that will go on the plaque in the patrol room for Western Region Outstanding Service Award. So thank you, Kathy. The next one for Western Region Outstanding Service, he's already retired, but I wanted to make sure that we put his name on a plaque in our patrol room because that's the least he could deserve. But RJ. So RJ's received the Western Region Outstanding Service Award, and this was in recognition for outstanding service to Afton Alps Ski Patrol over the past 35 years as the medical director, providing an exceptional level of education support and as the liaison between EMS and the patrol. So RJ received that award. Again, he's going to has his little plaque that will go up on the wall. So he'll forever be up there on the wall. So congratulations to RJ. The other one is, I think, yeah, I have it. Tim Norler, he's our one of our ski pros and works with Jill and the rest of our ski pros, but he received recognition at the region level for outstanding service and support to the Western Region Snow Sports School program. So Tim, Jill, you know, we couldn't do what we do without you, and we are so fortunate to have you and your team. So thank you. This is just, you know, I wish I could give you more. So you make us amazing skiers, and we appreciate every little bit of you for that. So thank you, Tim and Jill. This next patroller received Meritorious Service Award. He has retired for this, or he's left us and going alumni, but wanted to recognize, and we'll get this plaque to him. But Al McFarland received a Meritorious Service Award for his service at the Western Region as the Assistant Patrol Director. So congratulations, Al. I don't think you're on here, but congratulations for all your work that you've done over the years, and even as the Assistant Patrol Director here at Afton. So thank you so much. All right, the next one. So we're going to move. So I also have Patroller of the Year and Rookie of the Year, but we're going to save that till last. Next, we have here our 50 years of service. So if anybody is not aware, if you dedicate 50 years of service to the NSP, when you've completed 50 years, you receive a lifetime membership and a whole bunch of different swag and buttons and a special card and a plaque for your 50 years. And you also don't have to pay any more dues from then on. So you have a lifetime membership and your dues are covered from then on after 50 years of service. So we have 2 patrollers that receive 50 years of service this year. So the first one is Tom Slavic. Congratulations, Tom. It's kind of glare here. So Tom Slavic gets his 50 years of service plaque and his lifetime membership. Congratulations. That's pretty amazing. And then our second one is Gary Smith, 50 years of service, lifetime membership to the NSP. Congratulations, Gary. Awesome, 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 awesome. So the next, and there's only, so the only other people that have 50 years of service with our patrol would be Steve Johnson and Rachel Harvey. So that makes 4 of us now with 50 years. Well, combined between the 4 of them, we got 200 years of service. So pretty impressive. All right, the next one, it's pretty amazing to be able to give this individual this award, and this is one of the higher awards within the National Ski Patrol system, especially at the national level. It's the national appointment, and this is really for people that go that have done an amazing, selfless job taking care of and supporting the NSP and all of our missions throughout multiple levels of the National Ski Patrol, whether that be at the local, region, division, or national level. And this particular patroller has done a phenomenal job. He has been on the patrol since 1987. He's a senior patroller. He's the OAC and CPR instructor. He's been one of our steadfast hill captains on Saturdays, and does an amazing job. He's also the assistant patrol director, one of our assistant patrol directors, and you know him to be the one working on the OAC refreshers every single year and the manuals. He knows everything about OAC and the refresher. It's amazing to have him on our patrol and all the amazing work that he does. But this patroller received his national appointment numbers of 12170, and that is Tim Thayer. Received his national appointment from the National Ski Patrol. Incredibly deserving of that. Phenomenal job. And thank you for everything you do, Tim, for our patrol, for the region, for national everything. You truly are a phenomenal member and very deserving of that award. So thank you so much. So the final two awards that we want to give out this year is our Rookie of the Year and Patroller of the Year. So our Rookie of the Year, it was an easy decision for our OAC and On the Hill team to give this person the award. This person stood out very early on in the OAC training. His consistent desire to help out and contribute was clear from the beginning. He was the first to offer help at the OAC Refresher and the Twin Cities Marathon. His attendance was, I believe, perfect, which is pretty impressive. And he also joined in helping out with the YAP training. He from the OAC team, he's a real team player, and they truly see him as one of the bright stars among our patrol, just even as a rookie for only knowing him for a little over a year now. Our On the Hill team says he's going to be a standout ski patroller, and he's already working towards being an OET instructor for our group. So this year's Rookie of the Year is Tom Steggy. So congratulations, Tom. Amazing job. Congratulations. So then that brings us to Patroller of the Year for last year. This particular patroller, well, he has done an absolutely phenomenal job recruiting and developing our next season's candidates. He takes every single phone call of every single person that is interested in joining our patrol. He talks to each one of them individually. And I will tell you that is a daunting task in itself, because we receive so much interest throughout the year of people that want to join our patrol. And well, I'll just say his name, Jonathan James. He has done an amazing job with our recruitment. He's developed a system and a plan for how to interview, train, and teach, and basically develop our next season's candidates as early as possible, and really find the most amazing people to join our patrol. And it's evident in the last few years as he's managed this program, the amazing individuals he has found and have joined our patrol. And I can't imagine not having him as our recruitment advisor. And he truly takes it with passion. He represents our patrol the best that I could ever imagine. And I think it speaks volumes to the amount of people that want to join our patrol because of how he represents us and Afton Alps as an organization and a group. And he does an amazing job, and he absolutely is deserving of Patroller of the Year. And he is one of the hardest workers when it comes to the recruiting that I've ever seen. So thank you, Jonathan James, for your amazing work, and very deserving of Patroller of the Year. So with that, yes, congratulate everybody. Awesome work. Great. And I look forward to giving out more awards next year. I hope to do this in person, because I'll tell you right now, looking at all of you on the screen and all I hear is nothing, I just hear myself talking, is really weird. So to not hear the clapping, I see all the emojis and stuff, so that's awesome, but it's a weird experience. So so I'm hoping next year we'll be able to do this in person. So with that, that's going to wrap up for our presentation tonight. Like I said, there's going to be more stuff coming as we get to the season, but I wanted to get everybody in a forum to that we can kind of share what we've been working on and kind of what the season's going to look like. I'm sure there's going to be more questions, and I'm going to make sure that information gets shared with you in a timely manner as we get closer to the season. So thank you so much for everybody that joined. I will make sure this gets shared, and so everybody that wasn't able to join, they'll be able to view this later. So thank you again. I appreciate all your hard work. I'm truly looking forward to this season and excited for this season. Even with the challenges that we're going to have with this team, I think we're going to do some amazing work regardless of any challenges that get thrown at us, because we are a diverse, talented group, and I'm proud to be your patrol director and fortunate to be in this role and to be able to support you guys. So with that, look for more emails from me and maybe some follow-up Zoom information that I'll be able to share with you. But in the meantime, any questions, let any of us know. Let myself or any of the senior leadership team with Ski Patrol know if you have any questions. And I'm looking forward to an awesome season, and there'll be some more information to come. So thank you so much, you guys. Have a great night. Thank you.